So, for today's interview,
I wanna go. I wanna go.
he always goes around like yakimo oishi oishi yo. Like, you know how they have ice cream trucks in other countries? Here they got a sweet potato truck. You have classes all day long, and you just, when you're going from one class to another class, you see someone dressed as like Aladdin, someone dressed as like a Pokemon, bro. You're there like, whoa, you know, life isn't so bad.
first things first, what's your name?
My name is Chari Israel Chari.
And what year are you in?
I'm currently in my third year, first semester.
Do you remember what your first week at APU was like?
If I remember correctly, I came to APU right after quarter break because I just finished my quarantine. All the classes were online, so I didn't really like go out much, but I was just like in my room. And like what I remember most was like all the Japanese roommates. They were like so shocked. They were like, "Oh my god, no way!" He's like, "We got a black person." Like, no way. And mind you, like I was the first, like one of the first international students to come in, like for like almost a year. So they were like, "No way!" So like that whole week was just me spending time with my roommates. And it was just like so much fun. They'd like cook for me, would like talk. It was just like really chill. And it was cold, bruh. It was cold. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was cold. It was like October or November. I think it was like first week of November, I think. It was cold, bruh.
It's actually good that you brought up your, the Japanese roommates that you used to have, because I hear you're really good at Japanese. And
I'm trying to brag, but I can do a little something. Personally, I did not take foundation and intermediate classes.
Oh, really?
Because before I came in, I started studying a little bit on my own. And then you do the proficiency test, and they put me in pre-advanced, and I was kind of shocked because I was like, no way, my Japanese is that good. But I guess like it was just above the bare minimum. But I think the system they have here of making sure the first year, the first semester, I think is like only Japanese classes or mostly Japanese classes for that matter. I think that really helps you like get the immersion and really get like the input, like so much input. You're learning Japanese every single day. And I do know some students, a lot of students get really overwhelmed because like, so I just came to a new environment and now they're trying to like put this in my head. And like you think, oh, it's not that important. I have friends who speak English. But I think like that's really important. If you really like put in the work, you can really learn a lot of Japanese. Because I have friends and like African senpais who started from foundation and they suffered in foundation, bro. They were suffering, bro. But like now, they are really good at Japanese. I think they're so grateful for that experience when they look back at it, because obviously it wasn't fun at the moment, but when you look back at it, it's like, I'm really glad that I suffered then so I can, live more comfortably now, I guess.
would you give any advice to anyone who'd be interested in doing the same?
You have to study before you come, like that's a must. Like please do study before you come. I think even APU recommends you do that, but I would say find the way you learn best. Because I think, as I said earlier, not everyone learns the best way through the textbook. So find what you like and try to learn through that while you can. Because eventually you have to use a textbook. Everyone has to use a textbook. No matter like how different your learning style is, eventually you will have to use the textbook because it just needs the structure, the language. There's so many things you have to learn from the textbook. But before that and during that process, it's good to have a supplementary study system that works for you. For example, I really like watching anime. So ever since I was a kid, I loved watching anime, even like with the English subtitles before I could speak Japanese. So I think it's really important for you to, like, before you come to Japan, learn hiragana, katakana, but then also find the way that you enjoy learning. I didn't try assimilate myself into Japanese society in a sense. Like obviously I can't fit into Japanese society because I don't look Japanese. I obviously don't speak Japanese as well as a Japanese person. I don't have that Japanese background. So I guess like more, instead of trying to assimilate myself into the society like, oh, I am Japanese, it was more like I'm a student trying to like learn about Japan. So I came to APU and to Japan as a student. So I'm not only learning in the classroom, I'm just always learning. Like I'm learning about new types of food when I go to another restaurant. I'm learning about other people's culture. So I think if you come to APU and just the environment with the mindset of I'm here as a student, of like not just in class or like your major, but of the culture itself, and then people will be really accommodating to you, I feel. Because Japanese people, I think they have a rap of like they don't like foreigners and it's like they don't really like outsiders. But I think, of course, that comes from a little bit of them not having many foreigners in their country, but also it's from some foreigners and the experiences they've had with people who didn't try to learn the language, they didn't try to follow the rules. But if you come to Japan like, I'm gonna be a student, I'm gonna try, even if you can't speak Japanese people can tell when you're like putting in effort. They'll be like, oh wait, are you trying to say this? Are you trying to say this? And they'll really like try help you, if you're like you really don't know what you're doing, they'll try to help you if you're trying to learn, you know.
Yeah.
So I think that's how for me best I adapted, always seeing something as an opportunity to learn. So I think it's just a matter of always being open to learn new things.
You've described learning as a tool that you use, you know, to be able to adjust and, you know, find your place in Japan as an individual, as a learner, and, you know, allow yourself to be open to everything. So how did you put that into practice? And do you think it played any role, you know, when you went away and did your exchange?
I think it really did help because it's a decision that someone who isn't open to new experiences and learning would take, especially within Japan, because most people when they come to Japan they're like, oh, where else can I go, you know? Can I go to France? Can I go to another country? But for me personally, I was like, I'm already on international exchange to here. Like studying here is already my international experience, and I'd rather make the most of being in Japan and learn the most of Japan while I'm here.
Actually, on campus we have you know, food carts that come every day, and I always wanted to ask you, what is your favorite food cart?
Usually I don't get food cart food. The first time I got food cart food, crazy enough, was yesterday on Thursday, and I got the kebab. It was so good. It was bussin'. Like, it's so good. Like, they got the chicken in there, it's all chopped up, and it's so good. The kebab is so good. And I think today they have the Korean stand and the sweet potato, yakimo, and the Korean restaurant, Usagi Totoro. So they got all those on campus.
Have you ever tried the yakimo?
I have not tried the yakimo, but around where I live in the city, there's always a guy in a truck. I think it's him. He always goes around like yakimo, oishi, oishi yo. Like they just like, you know how they have ice cream trucks in other countries? Here they got a sweet potato truck. Just go, you know, when you hear the truck, there's some sweet potato downstairs, bro. It's crazy. Look, we can try some. We can try some right now, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Let's get some yakimo. Let's go.